threatening mid, even
like
early
Kindred.
on, even pre-6. Kindred is another option for extra damage, but I think DRX between the Azir and the Gwen probably don't necessarily have to have that. I think they want something that's going to keep them together in the mid game a little bit stronger here. Not going to be great into the Poppy in terms of making an impact in the bottom 2v2, but I think that's going to be a slower game down there for Deft and Barrel. And I was hoping for the Crank, man. I was like, oh, Carry has just added another one to the list. He's played 14 supports.
He might. It's not locked yet. Here it is. Blitzcrank.
All right. That is his
go.
15th. His 15th pick this season. He has now played 15 champions.
And it's Wolf,
in the support role.
The caster's first favorite champion.
Yeah, this was my main when I first started playing the game with you back a million years ago.
Yeah.
And Draven Blitzcrank is a terrifying and deadly lane. There is so much setup here. Draven does tons of single target damage even early on into the game. There is no escape pre-6 here for the Senna Kench. Xin Zhao.
See, let's hop onto the Rift here. Game number 1 starts now. Here we go. On to the Rift once again. And yeah, I like the way you put it. I think that T1 and their champion Oceans and just their long-time success has led to a lot of confidence in their ability to play multiple different champions at a professional level. And, you know, the fact that they have won with compositions such as Yasuo, Yone, Diana, you know, all this stuff. So I do like that they are able to flex into a bunch of different stuff and still yet make it look very meta.
We've been burned by Keria before this season. We saw his amazing Pantheon counter pick to the Pyke fail. We saw the Camille pick that he picked, I think in week 1, fail. It did not work. But despite those 2 isolated incidents, which are on the opposite sides of the season, we've just come to trust in every bottom 2v2 that T1 brings to the table to dominate Senna Kench lanes. And yeah, Kalista, a non-factor here, but they're still going to bring out this really strong Draven pick. And we mention this every time, and we probably will until the end of time, because unless it becomes a no longer niche pick. This is Gumayusi's debut pick. Worlds qualifiers, a pick that he's super famous for before he actually really got onto the LCK stage. And that's the comfort angle I'm talking about here. T1 will play what they like to play, what they want to play it well, and when it makes sense. As a hook comes through already.
Yeah, nice amount of
level
damage. 1. It's just a level 1 hook, so no follow-up CC, but I can guarantee you the next time that happens, now with a lower health bar and with Ignite at level 2, it is going to be much scarier. And sometimes in Blitzcrank lanes, as you guys might know, going to the Gnar, but he just doesn't care because he's so good at it. As I say that, though, he is being run down right now by Kingen, who hops forward and takes a very aggressive trade, but does lose his Ghost for it.
Yeah, and he had to trade aggressive like this just to get back control of this lane, because the early parts of it, he was losing quite a bit of CS. Zeus is going to be able to just return back. Won't even have to back or use his teleport or flash here. And that's the end of that story. Ghost is down now, so Kingen won't be able to threaten him like that again, as Jonas Strong is playing the Jaws music.
Yeah. He was waiting for, okay, now the counter gank potential is coming in. The flank comes out from Keria. They're just trying to get away from this one, RT1. They don't want to fight with the Xin Zhao around and his extreme early game power.
And we talk about this in the very rare cases that Blitzcrank does get picked, but he has an incredibly powerful rune set. Glacial Augment and Hex Splash that he could be played with, where you basically have power in this lane. You could flash aggressively like that, and if if it doesn't work out, like if you play it just the wave clear game, and you're just like, all right, okay, here comes Owner.
They're just going for it for the force. There is the knockup, but it is under turret because Barrel does flash away, very respectful. But that is now the flash down on the Catfish, so he will not have that for the future hooks.
Yeah, and this means Owner could just come back again and try to force a second one, and then they can look for the Drake.
just like trying to help push here, but Owner is in a little bit of trouble. It is Poppy though, so really trying to force this with Pyosik coming up the lane. Unfortunately, Pyosik does not have boots yet, the magical footwear. He is gonna flash on in and just get launched out of the play as T1 say, nah, if it's not on our terms, we are not fighting.
Yeah, Pyosik just a little bit unfortunately behind in the rotation. If he's there a little bit faster, he can 100% turn that with his Crescent Guard, but T1 know the exact moment in which they need to lead. Fight and defend while you slow down the Herald fight. You need to rush over there.
Ult under the turret as Needles now are coming out. We had Pyosik nearby as there's a house going to go by. Zeus is coming in and Owner's here too. They want to take the 2v2, but Zeus on the mini Gnar. They just pop him out there, so Owner going to have to tank this one out, give the thumbs up. They both do it. As I suppose at the end of the trade.
The turret could have actually been disastrous for either Zeus or Owner there, but Pyosik holds on to it. And it will just be a slight advantage T1, like you said. DRX in a pretty nice spot this game is,
Really doing a nice job there, threading the needle as this Tom Kent, after you use all of that CC, he can just Abyssal dive out of there. That is exactly what he is going to do, but still a very effective trade here for Guma and Keria. As here comes Owner again. Shouldn't be a surprise by now that the jungler lives down on the bottom side of the map.
Yep, nope, that's what the Poppy pick is for with the Blitzcrank, Draven lane, and Jin Zhao just cannot compete. He's on the top side of the map, completely away from where he needs to be here to defend, as Deft is so low on mana. If he has more, then that last trade could have arguably been a DRX favored trade because he could just heal through it so much because the ult is used from Guma there, but super low on mana, just barely surviving down here. Not thriving, just trying to survive and get experience. Ooh.
Second time there. Hex Flash threatened. No vision at all for Deft and Beryl, but they did not know how much danger they were in. As Zeus, same for him. He does not know that Pyosik is nearby with the Rift Herald ready to drop it down as he comes in a little bit late, but it might just be enough. They're going to get the flash out of the Gnar anyway and begin to push this Rift Herald in.
Yeah, this could be really nice for DRX. DRX are playing this early game pretty well, despite all the pressure bottom side. Gonna force a teleport here. Keria is rotating up. Looks like they're just gonna get fadeaway plates. Not the most ideal setup here for DRX, but decent. Kingen will pick up some money to make that a little bit easier. So T1, yeah, they give over that plate gold, but we'll be able to take up the first Mountain Drake, which means they can avoid a Drake later on in the game if the game state isn't favorable to them.
Take a look at the supreme vision control that T1 have as Zeus, as I said, you know, in the 1v1, in regardless of the lane, he is going to go for these trades as there is the pick. It is a Xin Zhao though. Can they get in? No, they're going to force the flash though. And that's what the Blitzcrank is good at. Now, you know, there's a jungler without flash. There was a Tom Kent without flash. There's a lot of value that you can get just out of hitting one hook as Kingen, he was trying to get in there for those last little bit of CS.
Here, you know, no Narvar, not in position. They do not have the Draven here, just backed. Has teleport, of course, but this should be DRX's fight to take. So they're hesitating.
Unless Pyosik, yeah, it's Pyosik. They get the jungler out, and DRX are like, well, what are we going to do now? It's 5v4. And he's going to get a pick onto Pyosik just like that. You're not even safe to clear out wards. First blood and the second Rift Herald are going to be given to T1.
Oh man, T1 just played this so well, waiting so patiently, knowing they have the Poppy numbers advantage, quote unquote, there. Take the jungler out, stop that smite fight. Gumisi teleports in, they have extra damage. And that's a charge right away, just instantly.
You see they're like trying to take advantage of the hook on cooldown, but actually they're taking a lot of poke damage themselves. Meanwhile, this top lane is still pretty Zeus favored whenever there's not a jungler around. He's still up about 35 people. And yeah, I mean, that's what I was talking about before, the Zeus effect, right? It's like, he's just going to get ahead on lanes. He's just going to get a 50 CS lead as there's another pick and it's Xin Zhao. And that's exactly what we wanted to see. Pyosik survives for basically forever. He's also going to get put in there, but it just puts them against the wall as there was nowhere to go. DRX overextend, and now we get the root even onto Deft. That's going to be 4 kills for none in favor of T1.
And this is a huge turning point in this game. T1 now have full control over this one. They are able to get the second Drake before this too. So 2 Drake lead, a 5-0 kill score, and that 2,000 gold lead became a 4,500 gold lead in the blink of an eye. Bounties are available here on objectives, but I don't know if DRX is going to be anywhere near a single one of those anytime soon. And T1 are just going to group up and take down this turret. Turret destruction means Blitzcrank value, because you won't be able to hide behind anything. He can get super up in your face if there's no...
I think they were highlighting him because it was a pretty cool thing that he said. But Zeus, again, this is just 1v1.
Solo kill.
Nothing happened. All that happened was Xin Zhao went top one time and dropped a Rift Herald. Other than that, it has been Zeus just dominating them. Yes, Owner did show up that one time. It was a bit of a 2v2. But now it is a 3-0-3 Gnar who is more than 50 CS ahead of a 0-2 Gwen. That just is crazy. That doesn't happen nowadays, that we get that big of lane dominance in, as you mentioned, supposedly a counter pick. At least that's what they wanted to go for.
Going for, unfortunately, the weird Leandri Shadow Flame. As here's the Hex Flash over the wall.
Yeah, Beryl doesn't have flash, and you can see eventually he's going to save that hook for, again, the Xin Zhao, who's supposed to be really good into the Blitzcrank, but unfortunately the wallet's pretty heavy right now for T1. And it doesn't really matter who you pick up. Very nice. Emperor's Divide comes in from Zeka though, but here's the flank coming in from Owner. Picks up one on the drive-by to trade it back. Very nice fight from DRX on the back foot, but still a T1 win.
I mean, everything we talked about in the draft and everything we talked about this Blitzcrank pick has just come true. We talked about how Hex Flash can be used to go from Raptors to getting kills. We talked about how taking turrets away means you're not safe against the Blitz. It's good considering, like, it is T1, and if they are doing it, you probably want to try to cross-map with Kingen, because I don't think you're winning that fight. They're like, okay, cool, they're not doing it, and Kingen is side laning AS teleport. This is the best possible scenario, honestly, for DRX. 6,000 gold down is try to force a fight here, see if T1 mess up the turn. Kingen has that teleport, but no wards.
They don't know where Carrier is. That is just a Senna gone. This is what Blitzcrank with value can do. As what was that damage? That was Whirling Death and a couple of autos from Faker? Like, are you kidding? As now, he's just going to go down to some magic in a house. Carrier not going to get the predict on that one. Piotr just walks in a straight line. But, yeah, I don't know, Wolf. I think it might be time to say the famous line.
Yeah, it might be time to say goodbye to the Xin Zhao.
Yeah. Nice little hook onto the minion there, but Owner had the job done himself onto Piotr, who did have flash.
I mean, who gets POG here? Like, how do you even determine which one player was the most impactful when T1 were all, like, so perfect together? Like,
so individually impactful as well.
Like, Faker died once, but had some really good charms. Like, maybe it's not him. Okay, we narrowed it down one. Like, Zeus got tons of solo kills and popped off. Like, I'm kind of leaning towards him, but
yeah.
I don't know. Carrier played Blitzcrank and
he like
70%
hit a bunch of
kill
huge
participation.
Yeah, he hit a bunch of huge hooks. Like, okay, Kingen's gonna try his best, but Zeus at this point just gonna push him away. As the encore will come in, follow up stopwatch nicely done. But you can just see that DRX's heart is not in this fight. I mean, Barrel's just there waiting for the Devour. They're just trying to poke them away and hope that they leave. But I don't think T1 have any idea or thoughts of doing that, because Gumayusi's just going to poke him down and get a kill. As in goes Owner, looking for a bit more. As Carrier would love another hook here onto the Catfish. Not going to get the prediction again. Always thinking that they're going to walk back, but they don't actually. It's time to go for the other prediction where they walk in a straight line. As T1, they're not going to waste any time. They have the Baron buff. As Zeus is just in the back line killing people as this is happening. And it just does not look fair. As eventually these turrets and the Nexus will go down. But not before T1 has their fun and takes a bunch of kills first. So that's going to be the end of this first game, guys. Absolute destruction coming out from T1. They made DRX look not just one tier below, but maybe 2 or 3 more.
And DRX might be on their way to the east side of the bracket if this loss streak continues. KT on the up and up right now.